Welcome, Queen. 3 environmental essentials you need to live a peaceful quality of life. I live in Texas, if you don't know, and sometimes we can think that paying attention to the news or politics is a waste of time or that what's happening in the government doesn't impact us. But that's why today I'm going to share 3 environmental essentials you need to live a peaceful quality of life and how intentionality in our choices impacts our lives. You see, as kids, we don't get to determine where we live, but as adults, we do. And I'm not just talking physically, I'm talking mentally and emotionally. And in order to live an abundant life, we must realize our environment plays a role in that. And although today's topic was inspired by these articles you see on the screen related to Texas courts upholding the fact that Texas can even ban emergency abortions at the risk of the life of the mother, they provide valuable life lessons. And I want to lean into the 3 environmental essentials you need for this session. And y'all know I like Webster's, right? So I went to Webster's and I looked up the word live. Now, there are a number of definitions for the word live, but today's focus, I chose this one: to conduct or pass one's life. So when you think about life, what thoughts come to your mind as a whole? Does your life feel calm or does it feel hostile? Do you feel or have a sense of peace, or do things seem chaotic and all over the place? Because when we lean into the word home, it says home is a familiar or usual setting, a congenial environment. And so I dug a little further because y'all know how I love words, right? And congenial means pleasant, especially agreeable, suited to one's nature, taste, or outlook. And so when we think about this, it should cause us to really pause and reflect on the state and quality of our lives. And so the first key that I'm going to share with you as it relates to 3 environmental essentials you need to live a peaceful quality of life is this one: freedom. That's right. Freedom to choose. And the thing about freedom is it can mean a number of different things to a number of different people. But I want you to be clear on this. Without freedom in your life, someone else is in control of your life. And the thing about it is, if you don't recognize it, if you're not clear on it, most likely you probably don't have it. Because to gain and sustain freedom, you must be able to maintain it. And so I want you to reflect on, what does freedom look like to you? And how does freedom impact the state of your emotions? Because here's the thing. If you're saying, oh, I have freedom, I can do what I want to do, my life is going as I want it to go, but then your emotional state is all over the place, there's an area where you're not experiencing freedom. Because when you're free, your emotions, your mental state should not be chaotic. The second essential key: boundary understanding. Yes, you're going to need understanding. And notice I said understanding and not acceptance. Because see, without understanding boundaries, well, they're disregarded. And the reason I didn't say acceptance is because when we talk about acceptance, that means typically you're asking someone or you're trying to get someone to give you favor or approval. You want their consent. And here's the thing. I don't care who you are. I don't care what type of family or background you come from. Eventually, you're going to make a decision that's in your best interest, and someone, whether they love you or not, they're not going to be pleased. And so you don't necessarily need the people in your life to be pleased. What you need them to do is understand. And so here again, we see that we have people in the state of Texas waiting for clarification. Now, this is not a small thing. Their life is on the line, and they are at the expense, the mercy of somebody else to give them clarification. And so I ask you to evaluate your own life. Are there areas in your life where you are waiting, where you are stuck, where you are in need of clarification for your own life? Where you have paused your life to make a critical life decision? Because if that is the case, then may I suggest to you that the people in your life, they are not understanding your position. And again, I need you to understand that they don't have to accept because you don't need their approval. But understanding is a non-negotiable. So again, reflect. Who do you need to have an understanding check with and why? What areas of your life do you need to have an understanding check in? Think about it seriously. Is it financially? Is it relationally? If it is relationally, is it with a spouse, a child, a parent? Get clear, because whatever area where it seems you don't have understanding with people, where people don't respect your boundaries, that is an area where you are not having peace, where you're not having the quality of life that you could be having, because you have people in your life impacting your life in a negative way. And you may be saying, I've never heard of an understanding check. Explain that to me. An understanding check is simply a heart to heart that is respectful and presented in a calm and open manner that says, hey, this is my life and these are my choices. And they're mine to make even if you disagree. And sometimes, as we see with this picture on the screen, life is gonna give you some cloudy days. It's gonna give you some rain. And even if you make a decision that is a poor decision, it's still your decision to make. And it's not for people in your life to come back and beat you over the head or put you down because you made a decision that they told you or they disagreed with. It was still your decision to make. So when people have a clear understanding, they understand and respect your choices, even if they disagree with them, and they were right to disagree with them. And the third key that you need, the third key is this: respect of your decisions, which ties into key number 2, boundary understanding. But here's the thing: without respect, your decisions, you'll find yourself justifying them and defending them. And you don't want that, because that's not an abundant way to live life. So I'm asking you to really think about the people in your life and how they show up in your life, their attitude, their disposition, the way they present things to you. And I want you to consider if you find yourself tolerating these people because you want them in your life. Because if that is the case, then I want you to understand that sometimes we can blame people for how they communicate with us and how they talk to us or how they treat us. And the issue really is that we have tolerated these people instead of set them straight. And so again, I want you to understand that they're people. They are not mind readers. You may hope that they could become mind readers so you don't have to have that tough conversation. But I want you to understand that you are accountable to inform the people in your life I don't care if they're your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your supervisor, your co-worker, whoever they are. You are accountable to inform them of what you want your life to look like. You are accountable to ensure that they are respecting your decisions. Again, we're not asking for agreement. What we're saying is, this is our life, and I need you to respect the decisions that I made or make. So, again, pause, reflect. Who do you allow or give a pass to disrespect you or your choices, whether that's directly or indirectly? Also, I want you to think through what feelings, situations, or perceived consequences or reactions cause you to do this. And you need to get clear on that, because a lot of time we tolerate or allow things because there is something on the back end, whether it's a feeling we're trying to avoid, a situation we're trying to avoid, or a response or a reaction that we're trying to avoid. Typically, it's something that we don't want to deal with on the back end, and so we don't stand up for ourselves. And so you got to get clear on what that is, because you have to be able to address that so you can do what you need to do, so that you can truly have peace in your life. So again, let's recap the 3 environmental essentials. Number 1, the freedom to choose. Number 2, boundary understanding. Number 3, respect of your decisions. Now, of course, you can work with me one-on-one if you feel you need somebody to come alongside you and help you put together a game plan to execute carrying these out in your life. But if you like, hey, I got it, I can take it from here, that's great. I encourage you to do so, and to do so right away. Also, if you're interested in next leveling your dating, the Ultimate Rate Your Date tool is available. Click the link in the description below to get that. And ladies, I want you to know and understand this as well. Sometimes you can unawarely love being in a place that's literally keeping you bound and oppressed. And the danger is, if you remain unaware, there will come a time that being in that place could cost you your life. As always, I'm Coach Sam telling you, 24 hours doesn't seem long, but in 24 hours, you could change your life. So go ahead and do something life-changing now.